find that oath of office in her office. It's not back here.
You know if Andrea's coming? Anybody to talk to her?
Who's that, Andrea? No.
Called her, no response.
Okay. I'll just wait for Pam and then we'll start.
Does Jesse need to fill this out, or does he have one?
That's for the backhaul.
Yeah.
She did find Jesse's agreement and he's on it.
Okay, so he's already got one.
I did learn something from
So
my,
we can't do the trailer.
I learned
Yeah.
something from my insurance agent.
Hey, what?
I learned something from my insurance agent when I was going to rent a place up here to move the cans. He said that it's less expensive to get a letter on your personal car insurance to cover equipment or whatever than it is to do it separately because you gotta establish your stuff.
Okay.
And that's what I learned.
Okay.
Any luck in there?
I've got one online I can use if I don't find the one in here.
Okay. We all ready?
Sure.
Okay. 5 o'clock, we're gonna start the meeting. We're called to order a meeting for a special meeting, oath of office for mayor, city recorder, and then we'll have a historic land use and document workshop. Okay, council roll call.
Pamela Brown, City Council President.
Stacy Wilson, counselor.
Forest Mark Work, counselor.
Okay. Welcome all visitors. Thank you. I'm now gonna ask the council president to administer the oath of office. She's ready?
I'll ask you to please stand, Sharon.
Oh.
Bear with me. Please raise your right hand. I, Sharon Contrea,
I, Sharon Kentry,
do solemnly swear that I will support and defend
I do solemnly swear I support the defense
and the Constitution of the United States,
and of the Constitution of the United States,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and I will bear true faith of allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely,
As I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
And I will well and faithfully discharge.
and I will
Well and faithfully
well
discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on so which I am about to enter.
as I so wish to enter.
Thank you. I've got 2 participants on Zoom. I'm hoping that one is Deb, and it is. Deb,
Yeah,
are
it's
you
me.
take your oath of office?
Can I do the short version?
Do you have a short version available for me?
I sure do. The governor's.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I, Deborah Holbrook, do solemnly swear and or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oregon, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Shaniko City Recorder according to the best of my ability. Amen.
Thank you, Deb.
Welcome.
All right.
Okay, now, and we'll adjourn till 5:15 for our next meeting.
A point of order before we proceed, there was a
Okay.
request to add an agenda item. So I'd like to propose that we consider adding the agenda item for the West Side Water Access Plan for Shaniko.
Do I hear a motion?
I make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn?
Oh.
Thank you, visitors. Oh,
Well, we'd have to discuss the item.
okay.
All right. So if I may speak on the point, and then Sharon, you can grant people rights to speak
Okay.
on the issue. A couple of meetings ago, we passed as a council the path for water to get to that west side of town. That would bring 16 landowners water hookups on the west side of town. A couple benefits to this. Typically, a piece of land is worth double when it has water access. So if we're looking at the tax rates coming in, that's a benefit to the city monetarily. Additionally, since we'll be putting capped tees for these 16 landowners over there to be able to dip into water, as water is $45 per month, that means for each resident that does tap into that water, we get approximately, rounding up, $600, the city, per month for those hookups that are utilized.
Okay.
And so those are my points for wanting to proceed with the plan. The one missing piece comes with the trenching of the land. That, again, the path has been cut and decided on C Street there, and then thirds. But we're going to need to rent an excavator for a couple of days in order to get that ground broken. So first of all, before I proceed, are there any questions or comments on that particular matter?
Cost.
You're just going to, the meter, right?
Yes.
And, yeah,
And
we
everything
gotta
else,
give you a meter to get to.
everything else is already paid for.
And so, given that water is a basic need that I believe the city ought to provide to its residents, I feel very strongly about that. And also, given the monetary benefits to the city of Shaniko for providing these services that we ought to be, I would like to make a motion to approve up to $2,500 for a rental of an excavator. That doesn't mean it will cost that much, but I'd like to make a motion to approve the rental of an excavator to get that job done, so we can start seeing that income.
And there's $2,500 that can be used to it, right?
If there's a second, then there can be conversation. So just if there's a second to discuss the motion. Sharon, this will be the place where you say, "Is there a second?" and kind of prompt.
Oh, if there's a motion.
I made a motion.
Okay, and is there a second?
I must abstain, so Stacy, that would,
Second? Can he second if it's his property?
I must abstain.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Fantastic.
May I add some discussion now that it's above board?
What?
Add some information to what they're talking about.
Are we gonna allow public comment? I think
Yeah,
that's what he's
public
asking.
comment, wait, yeah, you're gonna talk, okay. We'll adjourn until 5:15, it's 8 after 5, and then we'll go to our meeting. Just a minute. It's an error.
Welcome, Mayor. Got us a new mayor. She not been yet?
Hey, we're still recording. We're still recording here.
The time is 5:11. We're gonna start the special meeting. Council,
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I got a question.
Sharon, can you hear Deb? I've got the volume all the way up.
I just have one question. That I did not mute that last section of discussion you had.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself now. Thanks.
Okay.
oh, I also need to, inform everybody that I have to take my eye drops by 7:30, so I need, if the meeting lasts over 7:15, we can reschedule and finish, cause I have to do my eye drops.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, when do you wanna start for the land use and document workshop?
Tell us what our goals are here, and that will kind of kick
Yeah,
us off.
go ahead.
If you tell us what the goals are, we can kind of kick off from there.
Oh. It was all missing. Oh. Oh, it's so that we're all agreement to the landowner that wants to build on the historical property. I'm gonna be looking into the zoning items that have paperwork, and the council, that way the council wants to provide people who are building with any additions, and how constitutional uses requested are handled, and specifics needed to build and remodel in the historic district. There is a grant coming to update our current zoning, everything, because right now we're out of, some places we're out of compliance to our current one. So, that's where we're at, so. Let Dave speak first. Or no, you guys,
I wanna clarify, we're not actually looking at a land use decision right now.
no, we're
We wanna-
deciding what with his, yeah. We're
but
discussing,
There's been no application to my knowledge.
yeah. Well, no, I'm
Has-
looking into that, yeah. But right now, we're gonna, we need to you guys are supposed to decide how he's gonna do his land, what he's gonna do with his land on the corner.
All right, so I've got the ordinance here, 6-78-B, which is on the website but hasn't been printed out and provided. So Dave, excuse me, I'd like to provide you with this and then talk about it a little bit to see what the stipulations are, what we need to discuss to help get into compliance.
Okay.
Yes, there is a grant coming, but that won't be implemented for another 12
I
months.
have a extra ordinance.
Oh,
given-
fantastic! Yes.
Okay, I got one. There you go, Dave.
Thank you.
So you go along with this.
Once again, I just wanna clarify here. Dave, have you submitted an application? Do you have a conditional land use application that you've submitted to the city?
I do not, because I did not have
They weren't
this
posted?
to read through to get the correct language to put onto my land use proposal. So what I would like to do today is understand what I can and can't do on the land use, what I have to follow, and how I'm going to get eventually water and power. So, may I please join you at the table?
That's your decision, Sharon.
And I would like to also offer to take a position in the city to modernize and get a inventory of exactly what the city owns. We used to do that. We used to have someone do it, but I'm just adding it as a suggestion because I've asked for 3 weeks for this and it did not arrive in the mail. So, you know, I would hope there's somehow we could speed up not speed up the process, but have it more streamlined. Like a file of different papers and you pull out the one that says land use. Anyway, so if we could go through this and totally understand what it's saying, my title does say historic, so we're gonna fly that flag.
Okay.
That's what I paid for. And I believe I paid for my water 3.5 years ago.
I'll make a note of that, thank you.
I would actually confirm that. We have documentation of that.
I believe it.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is, Dave, you need access to the application to fill out. Is that right?
I have the applications. I didn't know how to fill out correctly what aligned with the historic boundaries and so forth. I want to make sure that I say what's correct in here on my land use.
Gotcha.
thing. And then we can pass it or fail it
Okay.
at a meeting. But I used to have some of these, but I can't find them anymore. And so trying to come up with what I need to tell you makes it difficult for me because this is fresh. But
All right.
if we could look at the details of what a historic piece of property may or may not
About
have.
page 15-ish, they're not labeled at the bottom. but-
Article 15,
About page 15, as I count them.
okay.
It's Article 3. So you'll see, if you're seeing section 2 point such and such, continue flipping until you get to section 3.
Okay,
And once we get to section 3, the first one is residential zone. We're gonna have to share here. I don't think you have it. The first one's residential zone. That doesn't apply, so we'll flip forward. And again, I'm kind of going by sections here. I don't have page numbers. Then I see commercial, C1, which is relevant as well, but flip one more page. Section 3.3 at the bottom of this page says historic commercial zone.
okay.
And I'll wait to make sure that we're all there.
Here,
Thank you.
page 13. Or 15. There's an extra one.
All right, to read aloud a little bit, and then Sharon, I'll hand it back to you to run
Okay.
how you want this to go. But just as a high level, there are a number of permitted uses, conditional uses, and then setbacks and limitations and whatnot. So I'm going to start by just highlighting the permitted uses and conditional uses quickly. I'd like to then talk about the setbacks specifically, and then kind of work backwards.
Okay.
All right. So the permitted uses, I'm just going to read these aloud. For the historical is in 1978, it was agreed retail trade establishments in which operation takes place solely within an enclosed building.
What page are you on?
I don't have page numbers, but I'm on section 3.3.
Because he don't have all this information.
We've got a working copier. This is a complete set.
I'm on section 4.3. No,
Dave, I believe that's a different document.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Let's,
This is a complete set. If someone is able
That's
to
the
make
right
a copy.
that's perfect, or we can share and then
Sure.
and make sure
Yeah,
that
okay.
Dave has one to
I'm
take, and I can
left-handed.
make a copy later.
Fantastic. You sure?
Now I'm seeing it. So, let's go down. Okay,
It's just not the same thing.
I'd like to make one comment.
Please, it's
Okay.
Shaniko.
2 weeks ago, I did email Dave and ask if he had all the ordinances, and he didn't answer me, so.
Well, we've got it in front of us now, so we're gonna move forward and read it aloud just so we can review and make sure everybody's in the loop.
Yes, good thing.
Good. So now that we're all literally on the same page, the permitted uses is what I'm reading for. This is 1A. I'll read this again. It was retail trade establishments in which the operation takes place solely within an enclosed building.
Okay,
Turn the page. And again, I'm going to glaze over these and then we'll come back to them.
okay,
Another is business, governmental, or professional offices, financial institution, personal and business services such as barber shop, tailoring shop, printing shop, laundry or dry cleaning establishment, and electrical repair shops. Public park, public recreation areas, and community centers. Sharon, do you want to read the section 2 conditional uses aloud?
Okay, I'm not on the same page. I'm going too fast.
Number 2.
Number 2. Conditional uses permitted with approval of the city council in accordance with Article 5 of the ordinance. A, church. B, family-oriented craft industries. C, service commercial establishments such as hotel, motel, gas station, service station, or restaurant. D, farrier. E, commercial amusement. And F, other similar uses are authorized by the city council.
All right, so under these conditional uses, Dave, what we'll be doing, I'm going to glaze forward again and then we'll come back
Sure,
to it.
sure.
We'll be discussing this element, other similar uses as authorized by city council. And
Okay.
this is where we'll get together and help fill out that conditional use
Perfect.
application to see exactly what your intention is, to see what that similar use
Okay,
may be for that hearing. But if you don't mind, well, let's continue
Go ahead.
sharing with the setback requirements.
Setback requirements. Buildings must be set back 10 feet adjoining public right-of-way. This area must be landscaped as approved by the city council.
All right, let's hold there. So this is one of the things, whether it's historic or if it's not historic, that needs to be ensured is that it's 10 feet, that things are 10 feet back from the road just to make sure that people can see around the corner. And so that's one of the non-negotiables as far as how far back
okay.
from the road. Yes, sir.
When I bought the property and explored exactly what historic district meant
Mhm.
and tried to go through it all, at that point there was 0 setbacks builded on the line. And that's what I paid for, was historic on the property line. So then I checked with other places, and that's normal. Doing an overview of all these buildings in this town, they're actually cheating the line, they're over the line. But my premise was originally when I bought it, I should be able to use 100% of my property. And so you're saying this one, which is approved, but the one I am reading is not.
Sorry, I'm not understanding the question. Could you say that again?
Previous, before this was printed, I was given historic information on exactly what my property could be used for. And when I bought it from Mike, he showed me exactly where the boundaries were, and that historic, when I checked it at that time before I paid for it, was on the line. And I don't want to fight it. I can move back 10 feet, but I'm losing 10 feet of what I'm paying taxes on. So what I would do is happily move 10 feet towards C Street and use that as a parking strip, if there's a way to kind of work it out. But what I'm shooting for, my general goal is to have businesses on the bottom, which we have an actual description of the building. It had 6 apartments, businesses were in the bottom, and the people were living above it. And that was, I believe they called it it was similar to the little hotel that was here that got burned down.
That sounds
So
pretty cool.
Just, you know, similar to the Cascateria. Somebody lives up and there's a business on the bottom.
Gotcha.
So there was that, and then also there was the Black Sheep, which was Mike's selling point to me, that there was a building 18 by 24 that I can replace on that property as the Black Sheep Social Club.
Oh, I got you. You mentioned that earlier. I wasn't sure what you were referencing, but that fills in the gap. Let me pause for just a second. Do any counselors have any questions or comments as we discuss?
I'm just wondering about the view, because I've had a bunch
Sure.
of people already complaining. I got in a wreck yesterday because I couldn't see a car coming. And so I was wondering if there's any way that we could improve the view around the corner and stuff.
Yeah, I think we can. But I also don't want to lose my highway frontage. I mean, basically,
Yeah.
I understand what's going on with the road, but I checked ODOT, I checked the state of Oregon, I checked everybody that would answer their phone asking about setbacks, visual improvement, and all that stuff. And they came out and they marked their edge of their property, which shows my edge of my property. And I gave them 4 inches just to be more than safe. So somehow, some way, I have to have room for a building tall enough for people to live in and have a nice view, and then back enough so that they could see around the corner. You know, and so I am just listening to different ways it could be accomplished. The original reason for having the property itself is the Cascateria, because that is my company I used to have upstairs for years. And so I paid for a license to reopen my business. And that's what I would like to continue doing. And I was not allowed to do, I also want to have U-Haul rentals here in Shaniko. They can drop them off, they can rent them here, but there's nothing from Grass Valley or Fossil where you could rent something like that. So along with the Cascateria, it would just have an electronic desk that you do it all separate of me except for renting a trailer. So,
Like a turnkey operation.
yes.
And it looks like Forrest, go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
So I just want to clarify, as a public body here, our job is to look at your proposal and see if it meets the land use legislation that's currently enacted.
Okay.
And so I just want to clarify that to everybody here, that we're going to get you an application and we're going to provide you with this full set of zoning rules and all of that, so you've got all the information that you need. Then
Okay.
you put together the proposal and the application of, this is what I intend to do,
Yes.
and then we can review that as a public body. So that's typically how this works. That's what this ordinance requires us to do.
Okay.
So before a land use decision can be made, we need you to fill out the application, we need you to fill out a plot map plan, and then we can review your proposal.
So these are kind of preliminary conversations just to get the gist of it, but once we get this going, then we'll sit down and really get in the weeds and see what we could do.
I totally understand.
And Dave, did you say that you already had the conditional use permit application?
Yes, I do have them in my possession.
Cool.
I will not fill them out until I understand. You know, I was kind of given blank information forms with no history, no ability to understand what you're asking for. So,
And since you said that, I'm curious, Deb, I'm not sure if I've seen a copy of that. Would you mind emailing, if you haven't already, it might be in my inbox, emailing a copy of that to the counselors as well so we could have a look? The
A copy of what?
of the conditional use permit application?
If it's not in the packet you just got that Diana Mars has, there isn't one.
This,
yes,
you got one of these?
Thank you.
I got it.
You got one of these.
Yes.
Okay. That's a start.
Where's it at?
And I hope you understand why I first needed to understand the rules.
Of course.
And so could we move on to height, density, and so forth on the property? So I know what those limits are or aren't?
We can do that once you've submitted an application.
No, I would like it before I get started because I have an option today to sell the property, use the property, but I need to understand if I'm going to even be allowed. So
I'll give you
I
a straight
think-
answer on that. I believe, and check me if I'm wrong here. I believe it states that it's either a 35 feet height or a story and a half, whichever. Maybe it's
yeah, I
It's
live
like- is it
35 feet myself.
35 feet.
Yes.
So that's
the height.
the height max.
Okay,
Okay. What other
without a
questions?
variance.
and density per acre or whatever they want to call it nowadays.
Maps are not that comprehensive. It's just zoned. If you're saying it's zoned in this historical commercial zone, that's it. There is no high, low, medium density.
Okay, so
So long as it complies with the land use legislation that's currently enacted.
okay, but when it was purchased, that was before this city had land use, and I totally understand why we're doing this. But I need more information before we go any further, so I understand what it can and can't do, because,
What other questions do you have? Let's dig in.
okay, if I stay off the property line at 10 feet, which is what you're saying, and go up, I can go up to 35 feet so that the business below can have a 10-foot ceiling and the homes above could have 1.5 stories. So they get the view, basically, and not the semi-noise. And then the black sheep is pretty much just like the Cascateria here, where we had downstairs and up. And, you know, there will be more things coming, but because I can't,
Well, that's why we're here. We just want to make sure we answer your questions.
Sure.
And I'm excited to hear a lot more about it. I feel like you've got a good idea going here. That we've got the height as 35 feet, as stated in the 1978 comprehensive plan. I know that you talked about something else before you moved here.
Private
says-
right now?
10
No.
feet back.
No.
And so with those in mind, and if you've got the application, once we fill those things out, if you have questions, I will text back. I've been crazy busy this week.
okay,
But if you've got those
Thank you.
specific questions answered, then we can help you move forward to
wonderful, thank
present
you.
the application. I appreciate your time.
Sure, I'm trying to understand this because everything has been hidden behind that door. If you understand what I'm trying to say, I have been working on this for years, and I just want to be treated like everyone else. And once I'm through with this, I expect every one of you to take a walk through the city, just a walkabout, and take a moment to look at other people's encroachments that are throwing barbs through the air. That's all I'm asking. I know we can get through this. I can get 11 of those trailers onto my commercial property because in the meeting, it was already approved when Mike, Mr. Johnson, and myself, Patty as a recorder, we voted and it was accepted. So I can move most of the cans away. What I do have to do is have an area I can do my work, you know, and so if perhaps we move it closer to Susan's house and further back, that would be fine.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I think just getting together with a pencil and a piece of paper and mapping this out. Sharon, do you have anything to add or do you want to transition? What are you feeling?
No, not at this time. I'm
And-
not really familiar with all this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
perhaps,
understand what's going on, yeah.
perhaps the trailers would sit on the green grass, you know, so people would see U-Haul. But other than that, yes, we can keep it low, but, I believe that I was totally within my rights to bring in those pieces of equipment on my property because I paid for titled units. Every single trailer has permanent plates. which in Oregon is $45 days parked anywhere.
Yeah,
So-
I don't have a problem with that, that's why it was like,
And they're more than 10 feet off the line at this moment. I've
Yeah.
measured it. So I just want to work out some sort of a compromise so we can figure out safety, speed limit down to 25.
that'd be excellent.
Get rid of the friggin' exhaust brakes if we can, and
We're working on that.
move everything back further. And I can do it, but you know,
We can do
Okay,
it.
Right,
so
I
let's-
get, you know what, I get it, and you know what, I just want to apologize for all that you've been through, you've been trying to, you know, you've been, you know,
Okay, so
going like
we'll
this.
keep this open and set another date to rediscuss after he
how
gets his
about if
application.
how about if
Okay.
I fill out the land application as I understand it and do it in pencil? So if we have to
Sure.
scrub off
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, we
or
can also-
improve or whatever. So, and here's more information. I bought a forklift to move those trailers. So it's gonna be up here on Friday, so I will make an effort, as long as the dirt is hard enough, to move the three that are on the most extreme outside and start moving them towards my commercial property.
Okay, well, we'll have you work on filling the application and get that going, and we'll reset a date and time and.
Yeah,
So that sounds
Let us
good.
know when you're
Let's
done.
make sure you've got an
Yes,
accurate
everything
copy
in order.
of all the information that you
Yes.
need,
Before.
so you have all the information,
Okay,
and then you fill out the application, and you turn it in, and then we can deliberate on your land use decision. That's how this goes.
okay,
It has to be a uniform
Ta-da.
process. Everybody has to go through the same process.
and
That's
we're
just
gonna-
how it rolls.
We're gonna try to make this work for you, so.
we will make it work,
Okay, everybody in agreement?
you know? Okay,
Thank
So
you,
you've got a
Dave.
copy right there. Do you want a copy of this? You said you have a copy of the application.
Let's do it.
There's one right there.
Just in case,
So
yeah.
now I want to make sure you feel like you've got all the information you need to proceed with turning in this stuff so we can deliberate on it.
sure, certainly.
Okay, 6:45, meeting adjourned.
Whoa.
What, oh no?
Gotta ask for public comment
Is it
though.
6:45? Or 5:45?
5:45.
5:45. I do have one
Public
statement as
5:30,
public comment.
that one's off.
We're
If we're
Am
adjourned,
I
we're
allowed
adjourned.
Yeah,
To
we're-
make a public
Yeah.
statement.
sure. It's meeting is adjourned, but you're welcome to speak. This is America.
Thank you guys for coming.
Are you
Thank
taking
you.
off?